Hi everybody and welcome to Money Man. Mark, what should we open up with? You want to open up with Tyson comeback? Possibility of Mike Tyson coming back and fighting Sonny Bill Williams?
Sonny Bill,
Bill.
Sonny Bill, one of my favorites, rugby players, league or union. Love everything he's done, but my goodness, I think I agree with Jeff Fenech when he says if Sonny Bill had to get in the ring with Mike Tyson, even at 53, Mike would put him in the morgue. I think it's a huge PR stunt. Funny how Sonny Bill is always in these PR stunts as well, so his marketing is outstanding. But I see Iron Mike came out yesterday and he said he's insulted that people think he'd get in the ring against rugby players.
Well, I've never seen Tyson catching up and under, so he should shut up.
Exactly, yeah. I've seen him throw the odd uppercut though.
I have, yeah. No, he punches like a rugby player, but at 53 we shouldn't be talking about it. It's a sad statement in the world that we're so desperate for content that we're talking about a 53-year-old coming out of retirement.
But I think it also talks into the psyche in sport of people love a comeback story of any sorts. The baddest man in the planet became the saddest man in the planet and kind of really went off the rails. He ballooned to a monstrous size about 3 or 4 years ago, went on a plant-based diet, says that he's hungry now.
I bet he fucking is.
and he wants to get back. So it's great to see him in good nick and mentally strong. But I think he may be onto something though, a senior circuit.
A senior boxing circuit.
So if you see, you've still got Big George out there. You've got Holyfield who's 57, who wants to come out and fight exhibition fights. I always think it'd be fantastic if Tyson ever fought Butterbean. He's 53.
Where do these guys get the testosterone? Because in order to fight, usually you got to have a bit of an anger about you, and that's the sort of the hangover from testosterone. Where in God's name are these 50-plus-year-old guys getting testosterone?
Well, I mean, I look at Danny Williams, the Brit who knocked Tyson out in his second last fight. He's lost 26 of his last, I think, 30 fights. Well, he's 46. He's still going. Okay.
Well, he's just committed.
And so I see if Tyson does come back for 4 rounders, I would see promoters paying a lot of money and people paying a lot of money to see him fight a Holyfield. It's 57 years against 53. The trilogy finally complete. I mean, he's just got to go in with the headgear, otherwise his ears are going to go.
How many years does he have left? Yeah.
So there could be something in that. But, you know, I during this lockdown period, I mean, because we both love our boxing, I tend to go onto YouTube sometimes and look at all the old fights and that. And I'd never really watched old Butterbean, Eric Butterbean, the king of the 4-round exhibitions.
Fat Boy Slim.
Yeah, Fat Boy Slim. But he knocked out some very good-looking bodybuilders in his time before he went to MMA and actually found out the minute someone kicked him against the head, he went down. But they have on these e-games, it's Mike Tyson, would he beat Ali? Then they do all the data in and they play these computerized games and they've got Tyson to beat Ali. Tyson's response, I may beat him on the e-game, I wouldn't beat him in real life. And they've got Tyson to smash Butterbean in round 2. So no one had ever thought that Tyson would get in the ring with Butterbean. But this is a perfect opportunity. If he feels he's back, let's get Butterbean in there and let's see what they do. Because he's only ever gone in one fight that was beyond a 4-rounder. He fought Larry Holmes. Yeah. And he knocked him down in the 10th and lost on points. But Larry Holmes was 52, okay? That was about 10 years ago. Yeah,
I'd rather watch that than watch YouTubers battle it out. Or
oh, yeah. And I'd rather watch that than watch the e-game version of it. And but George Foreman, interesting thing, when he watched the video and he said he looks very good. And he said if he can go into the woods for 10 months, come back and fight a few exhibitions, he will fight for the world title, and don't bet against him not potentially landing a blow that wins it. And then he reminded everyone that a fat, out of shape, 38-year-old named George Foreman came back to boxing, started with some exhibition bouts. At 45, fought a bloke, Michael Moore, who was 35-0 at 26 years old, connected in the 10th round and knocked him out and became the oldest world champion. So it's not improbable, because even at that age, at 53, if you do connect with one, the potential is to knock someone out with the heavyweight division. But I just would see the likes of Wilder and Tyson Fury and Joshua destroying Tyson today just by pure size and kind of suffocating him. And his conditioning would have to be something unbelievable to even consider getting in the ring with them.
Well, at 53, just how much conditioning can one do to a body? I mean, you know, the stairs pose a problem for me now.
But you're not on a plant-based diet.
No, and it's very unlikely that I will be going on a plant-based diet.
But
the wife throws the odd salad out there, you know. I'll give it a go, but it's not for me.
But in this time of lockdown and kind of people going back to the past to kind of recreate the glory, Tyson has become a big talking point. But I think what you've said, it's also an indictment of what's not in boxing at the moment, that he can still command such a presence, the age of 53, and command such a presence when you look at his last 3, 4, 5 years of boxing. Because the early glory days, the 20-year-old Mike Tyson, the 24-year-old Mike Tyson, sensational. But the 34-year-old, 38-year-old Mike Tyson was an embarrassment to the sport. And those were his words. Yeah. When he lost the last one and refused to come out, he said, I need to get out now. I've embarrassed the sport. I've embarrassed myself. So people tend to only see that Mike Tyson who clubbed Larry Holmes to pieces. They don't see a Mike Tyson who got clubbed to pieces. And I would see a bit more of that if he came back and had any kind of thinking that he could fight the 30-year-old heavyweight champions of the world.
Well, that's the problem with social media and all this stuff, is you've got these self-perpetuating marketing platforms. And so everybody can throw their name in the hat. Even Tyson's dad.
John Fury.
John Fury said he'd love to fight Tyson. And
he said he doesn't mind if he gets carried out on a stretcher and straight to the morgue.
Well, he's a bit of a sycophant. He named his son Tyson. I mean,
exactly.
You know? Yeah. Anyway.
So, but again, you know, interesting. We talk Rugger. We talk Sonny Bill. Got that $10 million contract, highest paid player, either union or league in the world, to go to the Toronto Wolfpack. I think he made something like 120 tackles in his first 2 games because they were a very ordinary Super League side. He's been back in New Zealand for 3 months, and fair play to him. His promoters seem to get him involved in the big stories and keep him very marketable. Yeah. So there's this guy, Paul Gallen, ex-rugby league player in Australia, 40 plus now. He's been wanting to fight Sonny Bill for the last decade, and Sonny Bill's apparently been wanting to fight him. And he lost to some no-hoper. So that fight was off. But Jeff Fenix, the former Australian boxing champion and promoter, he said he doesn't even think Sonny Bill could beat Paul Gallen, let alone Mike Tyson. So I think that will just be a PR stunt.
But who would have interest in it because no one really gives, in America, no one really gives a toss about rugby. So what personality everybody thinks of Sonny Bill's a big personality in the Southern Hemisphere. He's not a big personality in North America.
No, not at all. But they were going to host this fight in Australia.
All he is the most overpaid rugby player playing in rugby union right now.
Rugby league.
Rugby league, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. It's where he's very big in Australia, and he's always a talking point. So the initial talk was that this promotional fight would happen in Australia. And this promoter who spoke about it was someone who had brought Tyson over there for various talking events and has quite a healthy relationship with him. But you've got the bare-knuckled sporting division of the world heavyweights saying that they all put up $20 million for Tyson to fight their champion. So immediately he'll go that way. He'll go where the money would go. If any fight's coming back, it's not going to be a 4-round exhibition against Sonny Bill Williams in Australia. It will be worth a lot of millions, and it will probably be a Holyfield, because that does have some form of historical value. The 2 fights they've had, unfinished business from the ear bite. 20 years on, do they kind of finally get to settle it? Does Tyson get to munch his other ear? So that's the only way I see it happening. But good to see Tyson at 53 in such good physical shape.
Absolutely.
And mentally so strong, because to see him 4 or 5 years ago making fun of himself and being this flabby presence on comedy shows, and that just, you couldn't be the baddest man in the planet and look like that. He's now starting to look like the guy who once was the baddest man in the planet.
Look, he's certainly the baddest 50-plus man in the planet. I wouldn't want to fight him.
Exactly.
Unless it was for $1 million. I'll fight anybody for that.
I don't know. Well, that will go straight into that. Your son would be benefiting your daughter. Yeah. They'll go straight into the trust fund, because I don't know if you're becoming out.
Well, that's the thing. And then plus life insurance. I don't know if they want to cancel, but throw my hat in there, Mark. Throw my hat in the ring.
All right. Will you be better? Will you be better than Tony Ferguson?
Jeez, that's Tony Ferguson. That fight. I don't know if you watched it, but my God, He took a beating. He's not a member of my family, but I wish he was. I wish I could take a punch like he does.
Yeah, and it's a surprise in the sense that he got beaten up having not lost in 8 years. But
it didn't surprise me.
But as you said, the odds were there was a lot of
value on Gaethje.
Yeah, on him actually losing.
Yeah, well, you know, that sets up now the McGregor. McGregor's already told him he's going to knock his teeth out and put them on as a necklace.
On necklace.
He's going to kill him. He's going to do this.
And then he said, "Don't ever talk about my parenting." Because he's already gone out and questioned Conor McGregor's parenting. What kind of father is he?
When you go out and say you just had a big one with prostitutes, cocaine, and everything else, yeah, fair play for commenting on his parenting, you know. But it does set up a good fight. I'd love to watch McGregor-Gaethje. And I would have to tip Gaethje to win. I mean, the guy is sensational.
Well, it would be a bit better than the first one, the 45 seconds comeback that McGregor had.
The shoulder knockout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lad that they put in there.
Donald Cerrone.
Yeah, the walking kind of marketing punchback.
Yeah, he did. I was surprised to see Cerrone do so well in his fight. I just love the UFC now. I'm starting to get to understand the fighters. I'm starting to understand the divisions a bit better. So it's certainly a betting thing in the future. I didn't win my bet. I lost a bet, but. You know, it's my first foray into UFC, and I'm still profitable in it. So, looking forward to the potential matchups in the future.
What I like about that as well is that in boxing, there's a structure to get a bloke to a world title fight. If he loses, he goes right back to the bottom of the queue or he retires. There, it's brutal, and it's 1 week in, 1 week out kind of. You can fight, lose 3 or 4 fights, and still be the best fighter. Over a period of 3-4 years and get another crack at the title. So I like that about it, that it's not like you work your way through and then you're gone if you lose.
Yeah, in boxing they manage your career. If you're 10-0, they try and get you to 20-0, with 20-0 with some of the biggest Joe Ropes in the business. So it is more fierce. It's certainly more competitive. And to me, I'd love to see Conor versus Gaethje. Love to see it.
Yeah, and very brutal as well.
Yeah, very brutal.